Stacy here.
Jelani.
Welcome back to It Takes Work, episode 3. What is this episode about?
Who are you in agreement with?
Okay, now that can go several different directions. However, we're going to start from the foundation of a relationship, and we're going to cross across multiple types of relationships as we answer this question. In regards to if you are in a committed love relationship, who are you in agreement with? And that starts with number one, if you are a person of faith, which we are people of faith. So the first being that we are in agreement with is the Most High God. Okay, we are in agreement with Him and whatever it is that He wills for our lives. But then the next people we need to be in agreement with is each other. Because, I mean, you cannot
Well,
really.
the logical answer would be
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The logical
unless you're
answer
doing
would
some
be
extracurricular stuff and everything.
right. But the foundational thing would be that we are in agreement with each other. Um, and the reason why we are asking this question on this particular episode is just because we want to start digging into a lot of external factors that affect relationships, right? And I mean love relationships, family relationships, friendships, business relationships. A lot of external factors can affect those relationships. And so, and it all really does boil down to who are you in agreement with, right? And I'd even go a little deeper to say agreement with yourself, agreement about the boundaries you're going to set, the things you're going to tolerate, what your boundary, the boundaries and what you'll allow and what you won't allow, and you
Basically,
know
setting that standard.
there you go, standards, right. And so as we, touch on this topic, we do want to engage you all as our viewing and listening audience to, ask yourself this question as it relates to your relationships. Who are you in agreement with? You know, are you in agreement with people that mean you well? Are you in agreement with, the insecurities that may be talking to you? Are you in agreement with an external force bigger than yourself that is not from God? Because that's important. Or are you in agreement with your selfish desires? Oh, boop, 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 boop. So we're going to get into this tonight. So, Mr. Wilson, regarding your marital relationship, um, what would you say played a what are some of the factors you considered when walking in agreement in this relationship? Like what are some of those factors?
Well, for me personally, definitely have to be on the same page with your spouse from a spiritual standpoint,
I agree.
because that just makes, even though life's just gonna have your challenges, that makes life a lot easier to navigate
Mm-hmm.
when y'all are drawn from the same source,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to one person having faith in God to take care of all their needs, and the other spouse is just trying to do everything in their own power, which is not going to get you but so far.
Counterproductive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to be in agreement from a spiritual standpoint.
Yes.
Also had to have a good communication with your spouse, because a lot of times in the world you got a lot of people who wants to always give their opinion on your marriage when they're not even in your marriage, which could lead to a lot more issues than you would have to deal with if you would just communicate with your partner. So good
Mm-hmm.
communication is always key. Um, and that's even from a family standpoint too.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
because they're your family doesn't mean that they are privy to every detail in your
Come
marriage.
on, let the church say
Because
amen.
family could mean well and they can have all the good intentions, but a lot of times what God desires is for you and your spouse to come before Him with your
Facts.
problems. Because a lot of
Yes.
times your family members, you don't know what kind of hurt, what kind of spiritual warfare they're dealing with, and they could be give you opinions from their pain and their hurt,
There you go.
what
Yeah.
they didn't even get healed from, and
Whew.
then you get toxic advice that's gonna be sabotaging your marriage.
Mm.
So
Or your relationship in general,
yeah, just
because
in general.
not everybody on here is married.
Yeah,
We
just in
understand
general.
that, but if you're in a relationship, you're trying to build it into something. These are things you have to consider. You have not even consider these are things you have to
You
do.
had to do, yeah.
You got to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it. Yes. So I will turn that question on myself. I absolutely agree. Communication, absolutely. Especially the spiritual thing. Again, if you are not a person of faith and you do not believe in God and you do not believe in, a higher power higher than yourself, if you don't, that's fine.
That's your thing.
You can scroll on past this. This part of the
you.
conversation is not for you. But for us, it is important. It is the first line and the first level of commitment in our relationship to walk in agreement with each other and walk in agreement with God. Because if he's over here doing his own thing and I'm over here praying and crying or whatever, or if I'm doing my own thing and he's over here believing God, we're going to clash. It's going to be counterproductive. We're just not going to, because I'm going to have whatever ideas I have and he's going to have direct instructions and things he's trying to get accomplished that God is calling him to do. And we're just not going to meet in the place we would need to meet to be able to connect and do the things that we need to do.
Different wavelengths.
And that's, I don't think that that's talked about enough. Maybe that'll be a season 3 topic where we really do talk about that unequally yoked thing. Mm-hmm. We're going to lose. I mean, it ain't like we got 1 million followers now, but of the 15,
we're going to lose that one follower.
Of the 15 people we got, we probably going to lose 11. And that's okay. That's all right. We're still gonna record these podcast episodes because we're supposed to. But yeah, so because it's important, and it's important beyond maybe what some people might think. Some people may look at it and think, oh, that's religion and this, that, and the third, but nah, for real. It makes a significant difference in the way that in the peace of your environment. And the truth is, why be in something with someone? Why cohabitate or wherever you do? If y'all decide you're going to be together and y'all going to be in this thing, whether you live together or you live separately, you're in this thing together. Why be with someone, be in something with someone that's going to be chaotic and not be peaceful? It's pointless. I would be peaceful by myself. I don't understand it.
It's called unnecessary stress.
Right. And so because of that, because you want a dynamic, it's not going to always be perfect, but it can at least be peaceful. And sometimes peace looks like, okay, we're having a disagreement. Let's not have a conversation right now because we're not in a good space to do it. So sometimes that peace will come in the two of you being quiet until you're in a mature enough place to have the hard conversation. But, what do I know? But that's one of the things we really just wanted to talk about tonight is agreement, because for us, the truth is when we got married young. We got married for what I would like to say were the right reasons. We got married because we were in love and we wanted to commit to each other only. And those are all nice things. But it took us getting older to realize that it was a covenant between God and us when we decided to walk with God together. That it was bigger than, oh, Stacy and Jelani are, happy and they love each other and they're, they just want to be together. It was much bigger than that. And so then that's where the agreement really stood at the forefront, because in every level of our relationship, and when you agree, we have to agree.
Yeah.
You got to agree when it comes to how you're going to raise your kids. You got to agree when it comes to how the household finances are going to be managed. You got to agree when it comes to decisions you're making. I don't care how big or small, when it comes to your overall dynamic, you got to agree. You also got to agree, like to the point you were making earlier, you got to agree on how you're handling your issues. Because if you got a spouse that's like, let's keep this in the house and let's work through this together, let's, therapy and whatever we're going to do, let's do that. But then you got the other spouse calling everybody under the sun.
The aunties, cousins, everybody knows all your business.
Right. The lack of agreement, the disagreement in that is going to cause the foundation underneath your feet to crumble. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to touch on that from a relationship and marriage perspective. But now let's get into this. Who are you in agreement with from the friendship ship?
The friendship ship?
The friendship ship. The
Oh,
ship
right.
called friendship. Huh? Yeah. Because, we connect. I had to learn this as a almost middle-aged adult. I had to learn this because as a child, you connect with people because you got something in common. You like the same things. You enjoy being around each other. So it's very superficial. And as children, you know how we did. If you had some come, that's my best friend, and you've only known them 2 days.
That's your best acquaintance.
Okay, but you don't know that as a child. You don't even really know that as a teenager going into young adulthood, because we transition from being a little child to a teenager, and now you connect with the people that are co-signers with you. You co-sign my foolishness. You agree with me. Okay, you're my friend. And then you become a young adult and you connect on maybe some more still superficial, but a little bit deeper, but it's still superficial. It's like, oh, we like to travel. Oh, we like the same fashion. Or we like or hate the same people or whatever. Right? So then it takes time. And then you become the age that I am now. And you're like, it's deeper than that. Right? Like you realize you don't want friends that's going to always agree with you.
No, you need somebody that's going to be really honest with you. Hey, your stuff stink.
But you want friends that will agree with you from this perspective of, I'm going to keep it real with you, I'm going to keep it honest, and I'm going to lead with love. So that means that they love you enough to tell you the truth, even at the expense of your relationship with them. Because you don't want somebody that's going to yes you to death. And yes you, literally yes you to death. Just out here trying to make you happy from a superficial place and not tell you the truth that you need to hear.
Because they're scared to make you mad.
And then you end up in a situation, or you end up in a situation that they're going to regret because they didn't tell you the truth for fear that you would be upset with them or walk away. And the truth is, if you walk away from me telling you the truth, you were never a friend to be considered in the first place. So yeah, like I know for you, Jelani, with this transition, you're looking to build, your friendship circles and things like that. So what are some of the things that you are looking for to walk in agreement with your future friend circle?
Just pure honesty. I mean, sure, you like friends you like to have commonalities with. That you like to hang out and just talk about things that y'all like, but you want somebody that's going to be real with you. Check you when you are wrong, and vice versa, and just be there for each other. That's basically all you're really looking for in a friendship.
Yeah. Yep. I agree, sir. I agree. Yeah, because it's important. It's really important. I think the thing that I'm walking away with, even having this conversation, is to sit down and really do a true assessment of friends, and for me, it's much more of a challenge for me because I am an extrovert, whereas Jelani is an introvert and he's very observant. And so when he cultivates his friend circle, it's going to be very strategic, very methodical. He will have taken the time he needs to take to mature and make sure that the people that he has around him are the people he's supposed to have around him. Whereas his wife can make friends with air on an elevator.
Hobo Joe's
Okay. And even leading into my 40-ish-ness, I have put people in the wrong position in my life, and I've paid for it. I don't even blame them. I blame me. And so now at this place, especially with these big transitions we have going on, I owe it to myself to just do better and manage better with the relationships that I have. Don't be afraid to put people in their proper place in your life and act accordingly. Because I would want people to do that for me. I don't want to be walking around here thinking I'm somebody's good friend and they like, we associate. And stupid.
But God lets you go through these type of ordeals and these, self-evaluations for learning purposes too.
Absolutely. I don't despise any of it. Has it been hard? Heck yes. Cried many tears? Absolutely. Frustrated, angry, all of the things. But one thing about God, he's faithful and true. And he said, whatever was meant for your bad will work out for your good. Mm-hmm. And baby, listen, we are witnesses and recipients. So we've touched on love relationships, marriage, friendships. Y'all want to get into them family relationships?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Walking in agreement with family because y'all got the same blood running through your veins? Nah. Because what you got to remember is the blood running through your veins and the DNA that connects you, that was God's design for God's purpose, for the lineage. That God had a whole big plan for all of that. And there are family members like we are, they're family where you're supposed to be close and you're supposed to, walk in agreement. But you also have to take into consideration that you're all imperfect human beings. Mm-hmm. And some people are healed to a particular place where they can be trusted with certain things and other people are not. Or you yourself may not be healed in a certain area and you can't be trusted with certain things. And you've got to understand that and recognize that for yourself. But I say all of that to say that just because they are your family doesn't mean you lock arms and just fall into agreement with them, whatever they say. Because you're still the one responsible for the decisions you make. Mm-hmm. You can't say, oh, that was my auntie, and so I just knew that this was the right thing to do. You got to treat auntie just like you would somebody you're getting to know. You have to discern well when it comes to family. And I think all of us are guilty of that.
Yeah,
all of us.
I think what people had to do with family is blood, true, but family are individual people with toxic traits, with good traits, and you have to discern, even if they're family, if they have a lot of toxic traits to them that are not good for you, then you need to love them from a distance. And I mean like arm's length distance. Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Because you have to protect you and your peace at all costs.
And I'll take it even a step further. You got to protect them. Yep. Because God gonna hold you accountable. If you put people in a position in your life that they don't belong and they mishandle you, God gonna be like, I'm gonna deal with that. But did you ask me before you pull them in on this? Did you check with me to see if they had the ability to be able to handle what you were putting in front of them to carry with you? Oh, you didn't? So I'm gonna hold you to the fire on that. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna deal with them, but I'm gonna deal with you. Like, you should have discerned better. You should have. No, I don't care that you've known this person for this many years. I don't care that That's your auntie that raised you from a child. You still gotta you owe it to people to take the time and do the work and put them in the right positions in your life. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. It is a ever continuous process. As you get older, as you get wiser, as you learn and you grow, you realize, okay, this person can handle this person can handle that. This don't even need to be communicated to nobody. Right? And so, yeah, that family agreement, I think that's a big one, though, because we almost...
It's tricky because, you know, you want to be cool with all your family.
Right.
But that's not the way God set it up.
And some you almost default.
Some people you just can't give that type of access to.
Yep. So, yeah. And then other relationships like, you know, business relationships and networking and stuff, all of that's important. Like at the end of it all, the root is agreement. Whenever you enter, people, the business people that are listening to this podcast, you all can attest. Whenever you enter into a contract with somebody, that's an agreement. It's a binding agreement, which means you're saying, yes, I co-sign with all of the terms outlined in this agreement.
Everything.
Yeah, all of the outputs. I co-sign with it. And so if you look at it from that perspective across all facets of your relationships, you'll be a lot more conscious about who you walking in agreement with. Mm-hmm. You won't shake hands with everybody, right? We won't shake hands with everybody. Huh? Yeah.
Especially if it's binding.
Come on.
You definitely want to make sure you know who you're getting into business with.
And not even that, just like literally take that whole premise, take that whole thing and apply it everywhere. Apply a relationship you had with a person, and that relationship you're basing it solely off of loyalty. There's really no fruit. It's just an amount of time that you all have spent knowing each other, 25, 30 years. And so you feel obligated to walk in agreement with them. Look at it like a binding agreement. You want to be in a binding agreement with inconsistencies? You know, one of the things I'm learning how to do is for myself, and it sometimes trickles out into the conversations I have with people, is I'm learning to point back to the Bible, right? And one of the scriptures that came to mind as we're talking about this is try the spirit by the spirit, and you will know a man by his fruit, right? And that's one of the things. When you get ready to enter into an agreement with someone about whatever subject matter or a commitment of something that's supposed to happen, what does the fruit of that individual look like before you shake hands on a situation, or before you come into agreement to pour out to this person? What does the fruit of their character look like? Can they be trusted with your secrets? Can they offer wisdom? You know, I think that's a really important thing. But yeah, we didn't want to come out here and be before y'all too long, but we are in the middle of our big move. This is our last episode in our domicile in Virginia. When we come back to y'all next month, we will be in Florida, where the sun will be shining bright and we're going to be enjoying ourselves. These next 3 episodes are exciting. If you follow us on YouTube, you see the sort of premiere or pre-show of the episodes. Friendship Foundation Part 1. We're going to have Akil and Yolanda Page. Friendship Foundation Part 2. We're going to have Ray and Portia Plant. And then leading, I think, Do You Lead with Love or Leading with Love? We're going to have Wayne Wright and Kendra Dion. So we're going to have some friends on the podcast with us. So y'all keep your eyes peeled if you're watching us from YouTube, and keep your ears peeled if you're listening on the streaming platforms, because May, June, and July are going to be exciting. We're going to have friends join us. And yeah, because, that's just what we do.
Wait, quick question.
Yes.
Is this gonna be like a sipping wine and conversation type of thing?
Oh, did you say that because of Kendra?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can make that happen. Maybe some product placement for 5011 wine, maybe.
We need to make that happen.
Yeah, and they ship to Florida, right? Hey, gonna get us some 5011. Okay, 5011. Y'all will learn more about that when Kendra is on our episode with this. Y'all will learn more about that. But yeah, and for those of you that are curious about my fit, this is my church clothes T-shirt from the Lecrae tour. Yeah, it was great. And of course, I got my His Poet Creations earrings. I always try to have me my earrings on so y'all can see it, because Black women are indeed dope. Because we are.
Yes, y'all.
No shade to anyone else. I'm just celebrating my sisters. Black women are dope. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. And we will see you all next month. I believe the next episode is going to air on May 21st. I have to confirm, but I believe that is the case. Friendship Foundation Part 1 with Akil and Yolanda Page. We're excited. And we will see you guys later. Have a great evening, everybody. Remember who you're in agreement with. Just remember that. That's all. That's it. Podcast over. Okay, good night.